Okay, so number 19. We are supposed to find the radius of the circle. We're not given the radius. That means we're not going to be able to calculate the circumference off to the side the way we often do. But instead of being given the radius, we're given a different length. We are given the arc length. The arc length is 1.57 feet. So we really have to focus on that. Because we are given that arc length, again, the first thing that should pop into your mind is part over whole equals part over whole. So let's set up that equation. Part over whole. Remember, on the right-hand side, we're doing part over whole degrees over here. Of course, the partial degrees are 45. And the whole degrees are 360. That part is easy. Now remember, on the previous problem, I put x in the top because that was the partial length. That was the length of the arc. That's what we were trying to find. Am I going to put x in the top on this problem? Do I know what this partial length is? Do I know what the arc length is? Sure I do. The arc length, ML, is 1.57 feet. So that's going to go in the top of this fraction, 1.57. So I'm doing part over whole. Is 1.57 the whole thing? No, it's the part, so it goes in the top. Now the whole thing is the whole length, because I'm doing part over whole length over here. The whole length is called the circumference. We don't know what that is. Now, I would not use x down here. A lot of kids used x. The problem with using x is, if you put an x down here, as soon as you find x, you're going to think that you're done. But you will not be done if you put an x down here. Whether you put x or not, if you put an x right here, what you're really finding is the circumference. And we're being asked to find the radius, not the circumference. So we're going to have an extra step to do at the end. Anyway, please put C for circumference anytime we don't know what the circumference is. As I recommended before, let's reduce this fraction right away. So I'm going to have 1.57 over C equals so that's 1/8. Okay, that makes the numbers a lot easier to work with. So let us cross multiply. This is going to be nice and easy. I'll cross multiply that. C times 1 is just C. Now I need to cross multiply and do 8 times 1.57. That's 12.56. Alright, a lot of kids put 12.56 as their answer to problem number 19. Again, this is not the answer because this is the circumference, not the radius. Okay, this is not the radius, and the radius is what we're supposed to find. Okay, so the question is, fine, I have the circumference, how do I find the radius? Well, I'm going to find it the same way that I used to a few problems back when we had the chart. I'm going to use the circumference formula. Circumference is 2 pi times the radius. It's also pi times the diameter, but since I'm trying to find the radius, better to use the formula that has radius built into it. Okay, so this 12.56, that's the circumference. So we should take that and we should substitute it in for C. So this is going to become 12.56 equals 2 times pi times the radius. And what do you think we're going to do to get the radius by itself? Hopefully you said we are going to divide both sides by 2 pi. That's how we would get the radius by itself. So I'm going to divide by both sides by 2 pi. That way over here the 2 pi cancels itself out. Okay, so that's just going to leave us with the answer. The radius equals, let's see, 12.56 divided by 2 pi. Please do not leave an answer like this. Some kids were giving me stuff like this as an answer. If you have a decimal, do not leave a decimal and pi in your answer. Let's use your n over d button. So 12.56 divided by or over 2 pi. So that's going to give us 1.9989 rounded to the nearest tenth or even the nearest hundredth. This is going to be 2.0. Alright, so the radius is 2. So that is your answer.